Hi, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of Too Opinionated, where today I am talking with the CEO of Polestar Studios. Is that right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. John Rain. And I'm so thrilled to have you on, John. We've been looking forward to this for a long time. Viewers will notice that I'm flying solo. You know, my partner in crime, Brett, is still under the weather, so hopefully he'll be able to join us again soon. But welcome, John.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited to be here. I know we've been talking about this for a while, and now here we are.
Yeah. You know, we had Donna Lee Heising on, and she was so wonderful, and she spoke so highly of you that I told her, I was like, we got to get him on. We got to have John on. She said you were just the most talented, director and artistic person that she has worked with.
Well, Donna is very, very kind herself, and I've known her now for a while. And these last productions, she's came on, and we became very close. Her husband, just wonderful people. Love them.
Yeah. She was a lot of fun to speak with. She's unique and in a good way, and very energetic, and excited. She's just so excited about the projects that she's working on, and most importantly, the one she's been working on with you. But I'm jumping ahead. So let's start with you. Introduce yourself and kind of talk a little bit about how you got into the entertainment business, and just where you came from.
Oh, wow. Can I paraphrase a lot? Because that's a
Absolutely.
long story. Well, I guess in the beginning, I was with a record label, MCA Records, way back in the day. I got thrust into an Elvis impersonation gig.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I did that for a while. I got out of that. I tried to do my own band, but no matter what I did, everybody said, "You sound like Elvis," and it would piss me off. So I had this love-hate relationship with Elvis.
Most people would be happy about that.
Well, when you're a young kid, though, and you're trying to establish yourself,
right.
You don't want people to say, "Man, you sound exactly like Elvis." No. So I grew my hair really long. I did everything. Got a biker look going. No matter what I did, it was always, "Hey, man, you sound like the king."
There's that biker Elvis again.
So I said the heck with that, and I gave it up. I sang off and on because I enjoyed singing.
Yeah.
But I never put the suit back on, ever. After I left MC Records, never wore it again. So I started promoting bands, and I really liked that. I liked helping other people get out there and get noticed. And I had a lot of connections from everybody that I met. So I quickly found out, and bands don't take me wrong, but they are the most fickle group of people you can put together in one place. A lot of headache with promoting bands because you've got all these different personalities that you're working with.
Right.
So about that same time, comedy was booming. So I said, "Hey, one guy, one mic, that's a no-brainer." So I started doing comedy, and I ended up having over 200 some clubs that I was booking for. And that's where I met Roger Paul, the RPA agency out of New York, Manhattan. And he and I have been friends now. I joke with him. I've known him longer than I know my wife.
Oh,
and
wow.
I've been married to her for 30 some odd years. So I got into that, and then I stumbled into television. I stumbled into Fox. I did some stuff with Fox regionally, producing shows and programs. And then I started doing large concert venues.
Yeah.
And I had some things happen in my life that really thrust me into a dark place. So I kind of went away for a little while.
Okay.
And one of my very good friends, I won't mention the name, but they're a producer. They came to me and they said, "Hey, you got to stop this. You got to get out of this slump." And I said, "I don't want to do anything." They said, "It must be something you want to do." And I said, "Well, I've never made a movie." So they said, "Well, if you want to make a film, we'll finance you."
That's a good friend.
It was. They were beautiful. So I did. I made my first movie, and the first movie was Dave Oz. It was about a demon, a hideous movie from start to finish. I made Ed Wood look like Steven Spielberg when I got through with this. That's how bad it was. But nobody kicked me in the nards. Everybody that I knew was really gracious to me, and they didn't laugh at my attempts.
Right.
If anything, they opened their arms and they said, "Hey, John, this is what you got to do, and this is what you did wrong here." And I really liked the filming process. I really dug it. So I took all that information that I got from all these people, and I went on and I started making more films, and then it's just been a history ever since then. And that's my story in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's a great story. And I love the fact that, because, a lot of times it's that one negative voice that causes you just to give something up that you might have potentially loved, and you didn't have that. You had a lot of positive voices, and here you are.
Well, no, I won't say I did have a negative voice in my head.
Well, I get you had your own negative voice, but the extra
Well, I mean, when I went to the theater for the premiere of it, and there was like 300 people in the theater, and they're playing this Dave Oz movie, I was like slowly sinking into my seat because I knew it was absolutely awful. But I still enjoyed it, and the point of it is, I didn't give up. And I'm glad I didn't, because I've met so many wonderful people throughout the years.
Have you used any of the same people from that movie in some of your other films?
Not from the very first film, no. The first, because I was in New York at the time.
Okay.
And we were actually getting ready to move. That's another long story. I was in the same place for 17 years. And some things happened where we said, okay, let's move. Let's get a new, fresh start here. And I was actually headed to Vegas, because I knew a lot of people down in Vegas through the old days. Donnie Marie, I knew them very well. I used to open up the studio audiences with magic in between their setting. Yeah, it was the Magic Kid, they called him. So I was headed there, and one of my friends was a retired baseball player, and they got into real estate.
Okay.
And he says, "I got the perfect place for you." And I said, "Where's that?" And he said, "Pennsylvania." And I was like, "Pennsylvania?" Nope. So he says, "Trust me." He said, "Just trust me, John. You're going to love it. You're going to love that place. You don't want to go to Vegas. You want to go to this place I got for you." So he ended up talking me into it. I bought the place with just looking at a picture, and we came here, and we've been here ever since.
Yeah. And where are you at in Pennsylvania? What city?
Well, right now I'm in a little place called Sharpsville, which is just on the outskirts of Hermitage.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not too. I mean, it's not too far away. We're about 3 hours from Pittsburgh. Okay. So you're a little bit away, but we could drive there. We could get there.
I think we're probably about. Well, I'm an hour and a half maybe from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking probably 4 to 5 hours from here. That's not too bad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not and it's that whole area, especially in the last so many years, has really kind of blown up. With a lot of people coming in and doing filming for TV shows and movies.
Well, there was a lot of independent stuff going on, and there was some bigger things. I mean, Mr. Rogers, got his start here in Pittsburgh, and I know that Patrick Swayze did a film here. I can't remember the name of it. I can't remember it, but he did a film here that everybody still talks about. But
was that Next of Kin, maybe?
What was that?
Next of Kin, was that it?
No, it was something Warsaw, I think. Something. Boy,
sure.
I feel bad.
He did many, yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, he was here, and people are still talking about it. And when they hear filming company, they think right away MGM, Steven Spielberg, and that's just not the case with low budget indie film.
Yeah, and well, talk a little bit about that, because we talk with a lot of different people that are working on their own projects or working on independent films. We've had people that are even still in the script process, but they filmed maybe a promo, something like that. Talk a little bit about the challenges that the independent films have just getting the movie made?
Okay, there's another long list. Anything that you can say about indie film that would be positive, you could fit in a thimble. If you're thinking about getting in this line of business to make money,
Yeah. Passion project.
forget about it. It's got to be something that you love.
Right.
Okay. And before I did film, I didn't really have a big desire for anything. There wasn't anything specific. I was way out of the norm. I didn't have like this plotted life out in front of me where I was going to go to college, I was going to be a lawyer or a doctor or whatever. I didn't have those visions. So when I stumbled into film, it bit me. It bit me right on the butt, and it hasn't let go. And I love it. I love the challenges. And what are the challenges? The biggest challenges are financing.
Yeah.
People don't realize to put a film together, even a small film, takes so much money, especially if you want to do some good special effects or you want to have some sort of a draw name attached to it.
Yeah.
So finances is probably the biggest obstacle to overcome first. And that's including getting equipment, getting somebody that knows what they're doing with sound, editing systems that can handle what you're doing. When I started this so many years ago, DSLR cameras, they just came onto the market.
Yeah.
So before then, you couldn't get a DSLR camera. You were doing film or otherwise. And if you could get a DSLR, they were like $25,000, $35,000. So they were out of reach. But as soon as they started making them and Canon started producing them, the prices went down. They were reasonable, around $5,000. So everybody could basically get one. You had good credit, you get a camera. So you had your camera, you're ready to go. So and then after you get your production done, how do you get people to see it? How do you get it out there?
Yeah.
That's the other big obstacle. You have to have a platform. And people say, well, I'll get on Amazon or I'm going to go get on Netflix. It's not that easy. It's difficult to do. Right. And if you do, which a lot of independent people are doing now to get on Netflix, because they're the ones that are really work with you right now. You're still a needle in a haystack as far as getting your project seen, because nobody knows you.
So much on there.
Yeah, you're a ghost figure out there. So there's a lot of behind the scenes promotions that you have to do, which again costs the money.
That costs the money.
We got a little bit lucky. We started, we got our foot in the door way back in the day, and we started building up a following of people that really like cheesy horror films, which was my forte.
Everybody loves a good cheesy horror film.
Well, they are what they are. I get a lot of slack for this, Mike, because I call them bubblegum. It's most of these, when they first come out, they're not iconic. They're just there. You can only do so many cutthroats, beheadings, whatever you're going to do, and it gets a little bit old. But there is a big fan base out there that love that kind of stuff. So if you can keep your budgets down, and I'm talking in the thousands, not hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you get on Amazon and you start building up that fan base and doing the stuff like we're doing right now, like talking to you.
Yeah, of course.
That's very, very helpful. And we've been fortunate to make money on every one of the films that we've done. And what do? Instead of getting ourselves out of debt and buying a home and a car, we make more films.
Well, you don't want to save that money.
No. What are you going to do with it? Buy food? It's overrated. So we jump in there and make another movie. And we do it because we love it. And I got to tell you, my crew that I've gotten here over the years in Pennsylvania, we're like family.
Right.
When you talk about Polestar, it's the Polestar family. And I mean that. I swear to God to you. We're all like brothers and sisters. We get on set, we fight like cats and dogs. But when those cameras roll, we know what needs to be done. And then we hang out afterwards. I mean, we go to birthday parties
Oh,
together.
that's great.
We're very, very, very tight. And I got to tell you, I got out of low budget horror and took a chance with a drama.
Yeah, I
And
wanted to ask you about that. Yeah, tell us about it.
well, I was set to do a sequel to Ned, Diary of a Serial Killer, which was one of my films I did way back in the day. Another gem,
Oh,
another
of
gem
course.
of a film.
I bet you it's better than you're saying.
Yeah. Well, I actually had producers that came on for that. It was still very low budget, but I had producers that were back.
Yeah.
And Paranormal Activity was really hot at the time.
Yes.
And those POV perspective is what they wanted.
Right.
So they wanted something like that. And I said, well, look, I don't do cookie cutters. If you'll let me take a script and have some creative control over it, I says, well, we'll do a POV type film for you. So that's where I came up with the idea for Ned. Ned was actually written in one evening. There was a kid who I became very good friends with. Actually, he's went to Hollywood, and he's working on some pretty big sitcoms out there now.
Oh, okay.
Eric Botanik. I met him when he was in college, came out as an intern with me. And just a brilliant, brilliant young man with film. And we sat down and one night with my wife making coffee, and we wrote this script.
Yeah.
And within 7 days, we started filming it.
Wow.
And the guy that was supposed to play the lead role freaked out when the cameras went on. So here I got all the crew there and everything. He couldn't do it. My wife and my assistant director looked at me and go, what are we going to do? And I said, well, give me some baby oil and an old shirt. I said, I can be Ned. So I literally jumped in just to save the production. And that film has been seen by millions of people already.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. Cult.
And I think I'm 60 right now, and I can barely look at the film without cringing anymore. So I've gotten over it.
Some of those are the best movies, though.
But they wanted to do a sequel to it. So we were all set to do the sequel for that. And I was having anxiety attacks. I kept telling my wife, look, I really don't want to do this film. So about 3 o'clock in the morning, I actually called Tom up, my business partner and best friend in the whole world. And I said, I'm not doing it. And he was like, what? What do you mean you're not doing it? We're set to film this Saturday. I said, I'm not doing it. I said, this is what I want to do. Hear me out. He thought I was ready for the loony bin. And he came over the next day and we talked about it. And he said, look, if you believe in it that much, he says, I'm behind you. So he did. He got behind me with it. And he also ended up starring in the picture, which gave him and I a chance to really act together for the very first time. And nobody would finance that film. Nobody. All my other financiers were like, no, not doing a drama. So I basically said, all right, salute you. And
I'll do it myself.
I do it myself. And that's what we did. And the crew and everybody, they were the same boat with Tom. They were like, what are we doing? Why are you doing this? But we constructed a trailer set because this guy lives in this old beat up trailer. And we were all in the trailer set. And we were doing this very impactful scene, very emotional scene. And when we got done with that first take of that scene, I seen everybody's attitudes and expressions change.
Yeah.
And they all gathered around. They said, John, we get it. This is powerful. This is amazing. So these guys worked with me for a month to put this film together. A lot of them didn't get paid. They donated their time, their hours. My wife was always on hand to feed everybody. I mean, bless her heart, she fed an army all the time. But these guys really, really believed in this film. And they helped me make this vision come to life. Took it down to Hollywood. Nobody believed that we put the money that we put into it. They all were talking like, there's no way. You had thousands that you put into this. And we're like, no. So that made the leap into New York City, where some big producers there had seen it. Ended up talking with them, and the lay of the land was John Rain takes a nickel and makes it look like $1.
Yeah.
So
hey, that's a good reputation to have.
You know what? I'll take it because it opened the door that we did Finding Purpose and Finding Purpose, The Road to Redemption within the same year. And according to my cinematographer, that's only happened one time in history when that's been done.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah. So we did it. And I got to tell you, we took it down to Hollywood. We won the best indie film for 2019 right off the bat, Hollywood Silver Screen Awards. The guy from Star Trek was there. He said it was like one of the best indie films that he's ever seen. So I knew we had something, and we're working on it right now to get it out there.
Yeah. I'm so excited to see it. So, what's it looking like? What's the platform going to be for it?
We're not sure. Right. Again, we had offers coming in. We had, I'll name a few. We had Green Apple. We had the other ones. Can't think off the top of my head now. Boy, am I stumbling. Well, there was a half a dozen of them anyways.
Yeah.
And my agent, Roger Paul, who's taken over on all of this, he said, John, don't settle for these. He says, let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
So we had some ties to some of the bigger indie film festivals, which he had tied up and hooked us into, which all got canceled.
Yeah,
and everything kind of went on the back burner. So where we're at with it right now is we're putting together all the closed captioning and stuff on it right now. Right. We also hired a film crew simultaneously while we were filming to do a behind the scenes of it.
Oh, great! And yeah, that's
they put wonderful Gino Blair Get to Work Productions. They did this wonderful, amazing documentary on this behind the scenes with this film. And I'm going to tell you, you're the first one to know. We're going to do a live. Yeah, we're going to do a live broadcast this Saturday, the 11th, at 8 o'clock, right from the website. And we're going to be making announcements for that probably later afternoon today or tomorrow.
Oh, that's terrific. Yeah. So what's the website?
www.polestarprod.com.
Polestarprod.com. Yeah, that's terrific. Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah, we'll have to make sure to tune in for that.
It's very exciting, and like I said, we met a lot of people. Of course, Donna Lee was in the first one, and we just had this great chemistry, her and I.
Yeah,
and, that's what she's had a string of low budget things that she's been doing too, and some of them were kind of exploitive of her, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
And she's worth so much more than that. So I told her, I says, let's write this really good part for you, and you opposite me and Tom and all three of us. And Aki Alion wanted in on the film, and called him up, and he said, yes, I'm in. Write me in as the grandfather.
Wow.
So we wrote him in, and I got to play opposite this Hollywood legend,
right?
Aki Alion. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. How was he?
Oh my God, he is the sweetest, most lovable, caring, understanding guy that I have ever met in this business. And he gave me a lot of inspiration, and he's actually asked me, he's got a film that I'm going to be directing for him, but he's so big. And when I first met him, I sat down, I listened to him talk, and I told him straight up, I said, you know what? I grew up hating you. And he was like, what? I said, well, you killed Chuck Norris's wife in Missing in Action 3. Right. So I said, as a young kid, I did not like you.
Yeah.
He kind of chuckled and he says, well, I did my acting good.
He has played some good bad guy roles.
A lot of them, yeah. But he's done some cool things too. I just watched him the other night in the Hanoi Hilton, which I've seen before, but watching it again. What's that?
I just forgot he was in that. That's a really good movie.
Yeah, he's another commandant of the prison camp.
I remember.
And he's mean.
Yeah. Yeah, that's terrific. Is there someone out there that you've always wanted to work with but haven't had the chance yet?
You're not going to believe this. This is going to sound like a made up story, but I was always a big fan of the Leatherface movies, the franchise.
Yeah.
And my most favorite one was Texas Chainsaw 3. I thought that was, although that one didn't get the hype that it should have gotten because there was, I guess, conflicts with release dates and stuff on it.
Sure.
But I got the opportunity to get a phone call one day from R.A. Nahilov, who played Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw 3.
Yep.
And he says, I want to meet with you. He says, I got a film that I've written. He said, I've actually written several. And he said, I want you to come down and look at them. So I told my wife and my daughters at the time, they were still at the home, that Leatherface wants to have us for dinner. And my daughters got really big. She says, are you kidding? I said, come on, we'll be the only people that can say that we've had dinner with Leatherface and we live to tell the tale.
That's right. That's great.
So yeah, I've always wanted to work with somebody in the Leatherface genre of franchises. So went down, met him. We became best friends almost immediately.
Oh, wow.
And he does have a script. I can't say too much about it right now, but we are working with him and several other icons in the business.
Yeah.
And we were going to be releasing that before the coronavirus thing hit. And that's kind of pulled the carpet out from everybody. But we're moving forward with it all still.
Yeah.
So as soon as we can start filming, that's going to happen.
Yeah. Let's hope it's soon. How are you coping with the isolation and quarantine?
Well, for me, it's no different. I'm pretty much a loner here in the studio in the edit bay and writing. Writing's a very lonely occupation to begin with. But my wife and I definitely got to, bond a lot better. And that it's really, you hear people joking about, boy, I got to stay home with the old lady. But we really have embraced it. It's been really wonderful for us. Right. I know it's a terrible thing to have to go through to say what I just said, but maybe when this is all over, maybe the world is going to be a little cleaner place to live in. I hope. And I pray for those that, that are inflicted. And I don't want anybody to get this. It's a terrible, terrible disease. And I'm hoping that there'll be some end to it before many more people die.
Yeah. Same. And agreed. I really hope that some positives come out of this, whether it's just families getting closer together or, the world becoming a better place to live, whatever it is. I do hope that we get some positives out of a lot of bad stuff right now.
Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of bad stuff, period, in the world, These are very frightening times. Yeah,
that's the truth. Somebody should probably write a movie about it.
I think I want to forget about it.
So tell us a little bit. I want to let you go here in a minute, but before that, tell me a little bit about what is Finding Purpose about?
Finding Purpose, I wrote about 22 years ago. Wow. And I had a brother who was born with mental disabilities. He was Down syndrome. And he was never supposed to walk. He was never supposed to talk.
Yeah.
And he ended up doing both. He was only supposed to live till he was 15. He ended up dying at 47.
Wow.
But he always wanted to be a movie star. He loved it. He was very, very animated when it came to, pretending to be a movie star. So he could interact really well. He had a hard time with speech, but you could understand him. But he was very smart. He was very, very smart. So I wrote this to have my brother actually star in this movie. And originally it was based on a Vietnam vet that comes back from Vietnam to find out that his parents have been killed in an automobile accident, and he's the sole person left to take care of his handicapped brother. Well, make a long story short, with all the problems that he brought back from the war, the state comes in and they take the brother away from him. and he enlists the help of his war buddies to go kidnap his brother, and they go on the run. And in the first one, it's kind of like it's showing the effects of war. Now we updated it from Vietnam to Bosnia,
Right.
and
Okay.
I had 5 veterans that were consulting on this film the whole way. Everything from the uniforms, the insignias, this war scene that we did for what we could afford was very, very accurate, right down to how I had to learn how to salute. So that film kind of ended open-endedly a little bit, like where does the future take them? The second one is a standalone film. You don't have to watch the first one to see it, but if you watch the first one, then there's a lot more like O's in it. Oh,
Right.
okay.
Right. Yeah.
So the second one shows the redemption of how he's come full circle and how he's grasped himself and how he's got his brother back and how he got married. And then they go on this road trip, and it's a pretty exciting adventure. And Donna is amazing in this film.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything that I could ask Donna that she wouldn't do. It was like, can we set your hair on fire and run around, put you out with a pitchfork? Yeah, sure, no problem. She's anything we asked her to do, and we ran her through the ringers.
Yeah, I believe it. She's pretty amazing. So that's great. I'm excited for both of you. I hope it becomes this, or both of them become this huge hit, and people can really get to see the talent behind it, because I know that that it's going to be really good. So that's exciting, and it's such a good story, such a good concept.
It is. And Tom, I gotta talk about Tom for just a second. Tom Stoops, my partner.
Yeah.
I was looking for somebody to play my brother, and Tom said in joke to me, I could do that. And I was like, that's brilliant. And he was like, no, I'm joking. And I said, no, that's brilliant. And I wouldn't let him out of it. He also has a handicapped son who's autistic.
Yeah.
And between watching what my brother used to do through old films and stuff, he gave such a portrayal of this disability. It's amazing. I've actually had people watch the movie and they didn't know Tom was not disabled. That's how good he did in this role.
Really?
He's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, that's amazing. Did you get a chance to share this with your brother?
No, my brother sadly passed away about 6 years ago.
Yeah. So not even the original script or anything.
Yeah, he did see the original script, and he did know that I wanted him to be in this film, and he is in the film. I've got clips of him where I'm dedicating the film to him, so you get to see what the real Rod looks like.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I love it when films do that. I think everybody does. You want to see
the film does have a lot of truth to it, but there's a lot of fiction added to it also.
Right. Yeah, you want to see the inspiration, though. I always like to see that. So that's a really nice tribute. So yeah, good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, so John, before you go, where can our listeners and our viewers, where can they find you? If they want more, where can they go?
You can go to Amazon and you can type in John Rain movies, and my movies will pop up.
Yeah, they do. I tried that.
You can also go to our website, www.polestarprod.com, and you can rent them there. And then there's all these other platforms, because Cinema Epoch had bought out some of my films for lease, and a couple of other distributors also. I just found out we were like on Letterboxd. We were there.
Oh, okay.
A couple other formats. I don't even know where they're at. They're out there.
Oh, that's terrific. Well, thank you, John, so much for coming on today, and please come back when this stuff settles down and you get ready to release Finding Purpose. We'd love to have you back to promote it.
I'm honored. I'm honored that I was asked to be on this, and I thank you for it. And you stay safe, my friend. Stay healthy.
Yeah, you do as well. Definitely wear your mask when you're going out and keep your distance.
Basically, I stay in my hole. I'm down in my dungeon here.
Well, that's a safe place to be right now. All the introverts are having the easier time right now.
Well, I'm right. I don't know what your age is, but I'm 60, so I'm like right there. I'm like right in that category.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah, I just turned 50, so I'm kind of at that that higher risk group you want to keep away.
I hear my neighbors sneeze, and I'm disinfecting the house. I'm like going all over. My wife's like, "What are you doing?" I heard Tristan sneeze over there. It's like,
you got to be careful. I'm doing the same thing. Every time one of the kids sneezes or coughs or runs through the kitchen, whatever it is, I'm there with the Lysol, spraying it down.
we as a people, and I want to tell this to the young kids out there. I know it's hard, especially for young kids, to stay at home. But the lives that you're going to be saving, and including maybe even your own or somebody that you love, is worth it. Now, back in the day, during the Cold Wars and World War II, look what America sacrificed then. All the president's asking for us to do right now, whether you like them or not, let's just stay home.
Stay home. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah. In the greater scheme of things, it's really not that much to ask.
It's not when you're considering that it's going to save lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, John, thank you for being here. Thank everybody for listening, and we will talk to you again real soon.